Good morning campers, welcome back to another video on the Volkswagen T25. In today's episode we're going to be taking apart the carbs and having a look to see what's wrong with our problem carb. I hope you enjoy, stick around for more.
So when we bought this van, it had already had the WEBER IDF 44 conversion, essentially 2 carburettors, 2 intake manifolds. Job done, happy days. When we originally started it, one of the carburetors was leaking, and I guess it was probably this one. So what we're going to do, we'll take this carburetor apart. Fundamentally, we've spotted a fault with it already. This here, the fuel pump. So when you put your foot down on the accelerator, this is actuated like this, and this pump should squeeze fuel through these galleries. So into the fuel cell goes into there, the fuel gets squirted up these galleries, and you'll see that in there there's 2 jets, and the jets give an initial squirt of fuel just to get you going before the main jets can catch up. So we'll pull it apart and we'll go from there. So I've already taken this part out of here. So they're built so that you can have fuel in and fuel out. There's a filter that goes in here, and this is the filter. So that's absolutely ruined. So that's obviously been taken out. There's the cap for it, which obviously goes into there. So there's the cap, filter goes in there, it gets filtered, job done, happy days. So we'll just take it apart and we'll go from there. There's main jets, idle jets, air jets, and we'll be looking at all those. So we'll take the top off and we'll go from there. So we can now take the lid of the carburetor off. So essentially, for those of you that don't know anything at all about carburetors, these are floats. So I'll do it this way on. Obviously the carburetor's this way, but you're going to see from the camera. I'll do it this way on. So as the fuel goes into the bowl of the carburetor, these floats lift. There is a needle valve at the back of there. It's just a conical pin, and that then pushes into the seat of the needle valve itself, and that then shuts the fuel off. As the fuel gets used in the carburetor, that drops back down, allows more fuel in, so on and so on. You've got to be careful with this, because a lot of people retrofit electric fuel pumps on these vehicles. That needle valve will only hold back so much pressure. It's only designed to hold back whatever pressure. If you get a 20 psi electric fuel pump, it will overwhelm that, push that down and flood the carburetor. So just be careful what electric fuel pumps. You only need something like about 2 psi, 4 psi max. Otherwise you'll be flooding your carb. So that's that. We'll take that apart and we'll strip that when we've cleaned it, and we'll replace the needle valve, and you'll be able to see us doing that. That's the first piece. Second piece, when I bought the kits for these, I noticed there's 2 or 3 different gaskets they've sent. There is only one for the one that I want. So let's take that off carefully. There you go, off you come. And there you go. So we'll be matching up whichever one we want that's going to match that exactly. They're all pretty much the same, but there are very subtle differences. As you can see inside there, pretty minging. So let's take out, these are the main jets. And that jet was loose. That jet was really loose. So that's a good start. That jet was loose. That's really bad news for the carburetor. Those should be nice and shiny, and as you can see they're filthy. same with this. There's just all sorts of crud in here. It's just terribly, absolutely filthy.
Oh, knock it out.
We'll clean all those up. There's these two jets on here. Take out. I must use the right size screwdriver with all this. You don't muller any of it. Now these are what I was talking about earlier. These are attached to this fuel pump. As I was saying, comes up there as that fuel pump squirts in, pushes fuel up there, into this, up through the actual screw, centre of the screw shaft, and sprays out down there and squirts directly straight down into the engine. That's that one out. That one out. Now there are little washers which are on there. Actually are on there. There's a washer at the bottom and a washer just underneath there. So make sure you put those back on. That's those two out. This is the choke mechanism. Bit weird. I don't really know how it works, to be honest with you. But you haven't got the conventional butterflies. You've just got this. It must just draw fuel through under vacuum. When the choke's applied. Again, there's another jet that needs cleaning. Another jet. And then we'll take out the air jets as well. Now, there's the screws I've just gone into it. I'll just see what the actual setting was before I take them out. So that's half a turn, one turn, and that's pretty much it, one turn. Now these don't go tight. They just literally pinch. Don't over tighten them, because you'll just damage the seat. Bit of a fiddle to flick them out. See if they just fall out. There you go. So they should both have a rubber seal on, which neither of them have, I don't think. Actually, is that a rubber seal on there? Yeah, there's both the seals on. That rubber seal fell out the other one, so that's okay. So both got seals on. That's good. Now we'll take this part now. This is obviously the risky bit. I think there's something wrong with this. There's definitely something wrong with that. We'll find out in a second. This should spring off on its own. It ain't springing very far. I guess either the spring's missing or broken. I can't imagine it's missing. I'd expect it to be broken, perhaps. That's properly stuck on there. God, it's stuck on there. That looks like it's, that's how it should be, that's fine. That is stuck in there. So there's the actual problem with that. What I'll do, I'll show you. So that is the diaphragm. So as that operates in and out, sort of doing this business, it's fed from a gallery at the bottom of the carburettor there. So this is flooded with fuel. As that gets pushed in, it forces fuel from there and there up these two galleries. There's also another clever little device which is at the bottom of the carburettor down here. This is what you call a check valve. So the check valve basically stops fuel. When your fuel pump gets pushed in this way, fuel could go back down there, which is precisely where you don't want it to go. You want it to go into these two galleries here. The spring's missing, by the way, out of there. There should be a spring here. So there's our problem. So whoever's fitted this, absolute insanity that is. That's bonkers. Where's the hell? So there should be a spring like that. This is the one out the other side. So this is the one up there. So that spring should fit in there like this. This is why I said it should spring itself off. So that spring was completely missing. That's really strange for that to be missing. But nevertheless. So yeah, there's a check valve. So I'll just undo the check valve and get that out. I'm being approached by water or something. There you go. Is it that way? Looks like it. There you go. So there is the check valve. That's the check valve. Now the job of that is to stop fuel. It's one way. Essentially, it's a one-way valve. That's all it is. Just a one-way valve, and that just stops the fuel going back to the bowl. The bowl of the fuel being this, because this essentially feeds fuel to everything. So that's the bowl. That bowl allows us a gallery at the bottom. That screws into it. Fuel goes through the centre there, ends up in this hole here, fills that gallery, and then when your pump operates, that stops the fuel going back that way and back into the bowl, so it can only go up into the two jets, and that's that. So that carburettor is pretty much stripped down there, apart from what we'll do, we'll take this off. This is the choke mechanism. So the choke mechanism, as I said, don't really know how it works, to be quite honest with you. It's just going to be under vacuum, so when it opens and closes, it just will obviously open an air port, and that air will then allow the fuel to be sucked through. Put these two back here.
They come with new gauzes as well.
What, sorry?
Does this come with new gauzes?
No, it doesn't, no. So there are air inlet gauzes in here, which is this. So I'll just pull that out. So that should be a nice clean gauze to allow air in, and that ain't letting much air in. It probably would still work, but it is pretty filthy. So that's going to be cleaned as well. Okay, rock and roll. That's it, mate.
What are those needles there? They're needles or not?
Oh, they're needles as well. Oh, just keep going. Is it still recording?
Yeah, it's still really.
There are, just forgot to take these ones out as well. There are two needles in here. Two needle jets in here. That's one. There's the one. And there's the other. And just while I'm at it, these are actually springed. So if yours are stuck down, there's something wrong with them. But these aren't. So we'll clean all this. We'll clean the whole of the carburettor now.
So as you might have seen in that video, the carb is filthy. So for that reason, we've had a look. You can get them just as cheap off the internet for an eBay special. Somebody had done a review on this carb, and it's pretty much the exact same. So we've ordered one, we've had a look, and it's also the exact same apart from the choke. The carbs that we've had off the internet don't seem to have a choke with them, but apart from that, there's not a lot of difference. So we're going to be using the eBay carbs, putting them on the van and setting them and seeing how well we can get the engine to run. So that is all we have time for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Please stick around for more van content. Ta-ra!